Sixx Sense with Nikki Sixx. Sixx Sense.
It's Nikki Sixx. It is Sixx Sense. I'm with Jen. Very excited to have John from Skillet. What's going on?
What's up? I'm more excited. I'm pumped up. I'm a huge fan.
Thank you,
6
man.
6 a.m. and the crew.
Yeah, well, we did a gig together. When was that? November? I don't even remember, but it was last year.
About 4 months ago.
Yeah, in Germany.
I know. It sounds like a joke, doesn't it? We played together in Germany 4
and now
months
here
ago.
we are. So how's it going?
It's going awesome, man. Yeah, doing very good.
New album,
Yeah.
crushed it, went #1 at Active Rock.
Yes, thrilled, man. So thrilled. We got a lot of love on radio, which is, you
guys have great songs.
That's like the thing that matters most. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, we were working really hard to get the song played, and people really loved it, and I'm happy.
Now, you guys have been around for a while.
This is our 21st year.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, we're lucky, man. I always tell people Skillet's the biggest selling band you've never heard of. We're so lucky to be around still. The fans that kind of fell in love with us early wasn't a lot of them, but they just stuck with us.
And do you think was there ever a point for you as as you're evolving, where some of the early fans were like, I don't know where you guys are going, or you think you kept them most of the time?
That has happened. I think it's always kind of the tightrope in it to like try new things, but have enough of yourself in there that people will give it maybe a second listen. Yeah, certainly that happens every record because we tend to shift a little bit. I don't want to keep making the same record over and over.
Yeah. So you need to for you and for the fans. Sometimes they don't necessarily get it in the beginning. I mean, look at some of the greatest bands in the world, whether it's the Stones or Metallica. There's been an evolution there.
Yeah, absolutely.
I noticed in my own life, it'd be times where it's like, you suck now. I'm like, I'm sorry. I just didn't want to make the same record, man.
I have to do this.
I'm sorry.
I always sucked. You just bought it back then.
Yeah, of course, when you make a new record, you're like, well, now we got it right.
Right,
and you never really get it right.
Oh, gosh.
The
it's
magic.
Ridiculous. You do it for what's right in the time, what feels right.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know, man. You can't be, can't have regrets about it. It was art. It was what you were feeling. And but most of our fans have given us that second chance, which I appreciate. And just as important, getting new fans. Yeah. Getting new teenagers. And it's funny because in the rock world, it kind of started becoming a bit, I don't know if you know what I mean when I say this, but there began to be a bit of a thing when people were like, oh, yeah, this so-and-so band, but it's just kids that listen to them.
Right. It's funny, I thought of that today. I've just started hanging some of my awards in the house. I've had an allergic reaction against that for years. So I've started, but I haven't made it to the house yet. They're still in the bathroom. So
right.
I have this one bathroom
Progress.
that's, I guess, my bathroom. It's the one I don't have to clean. It's by the laundry room. And I have the Shout at the Devil, triple platinum in there. And I was peeing today, and I was looking at myself, and I thought, what a kid. I was just a kid. As a dangerous little nutcase,
Right.
and we're younger, and it's like, it is for younger people, but as we evolve, like, we still have young fans, but we're bringing along those young fans that turn into young adults and
absolutely
eventually responsible weirdos.
Yeah, I mean, when I was in junior high is when I first really heard metal.
Yeah, me too.
When I heard Metallica for the first time, I didn't know what was happening. I'm getting angry. I like it. Yeah. And I never remember anybody going, oh, Metallica. It's just kids that like that stuff. And so I think it's important to get those kids because, gosh, you can remember when you're 15, your first or whatever, your first dance, your first kiss, your first breakup. You remember the song on the radio at the time. It's important, So
I was talking to someone the other day, and they were saying how their parents are still listening to the music they grew up when they were teenagers. So they're listening to Frank Sinatra, and I remember when I was younger and stuff my mom would be listening to, and I was thinking, God, it's like, why are you listening to that old people music?
Yeah.
And can imagine now, like, that we're older, and like we're going to be listening to Metallica when we're 90.
Yeah.
Like, what's that going to look like?
It's true, man. I read
Tattoos and weird hair and Metallica. Hey, Grandpa's going off over there in the corner, man.
I read something, and you know, it was some scientific study. Of course, it's just somebody's, you know, whatever.
In their basement.
Yeah.
Some guy in their basement.
That's the beginning of every great story. But it basically said that scientifically, your brain, you'll never like music, whatever music you like when you're 14, 15, you'll never like anything as much as that again, because your brain is forming its identity.
Pivotal.
Yeah, it's who you are. It
Sure.
defines you. And so, you know what I'd like to do? I'd like to get as many 14-year-old fans as I can.
Yeah,
Keep me on the road for the next 20 or 30 years if I'm lucky enough.
Well, you have a large range of fans. Like when I saw you guys in Germany, and I've seen you guys before, it's like really young to, you know, fans that were with you in the beginning.
Yeah, it's
What do you
crazy.
think's the key to doing that?
I don't really know. I get asked that a lot. You know, when we tour with other band, we're on tour right now, and we have Sick Puppies out with us now, and
Great band.
awesome band, awesome people too, man. And we love them. But they said, man, the age range in this tour is it's 8 to 70. And what's the deal? You know, and I say we're basically like Aerosmith with like a tenth of the audience, you know, or a fifth. I don't know. Anyway, I do think that Skillet has been willing to try some things that are maybe not very, like, quote, rock and roll, if you will. They're things that I really like, and they're rock and roll to me, but some people, for instance, we're one of the first bands, hard rock bands, to have girls in the band, you know. I'm not saying it was never done, but when we came out at radio 2000, 2001, people were like, oh, these girls in the band, it's just not heavy enough, or it's not this. Keyboards, and for me, I always look at it like, you know, Nine Inch Nails had keyboards. I don't really know why people are hating on it, but there are some things about it that I think some of the urban influence in our music, young people like that stuff, and so we're able to kind of get some of those people that don't necessarily love metal, but they kind of like some of that.
I love, you know, the urban influence, and I didn't get that because, you know, when I grew up, there was no hip hop, there was no rap, there was no rap rock. It was, you know, music from the 70s, and it was it's like a different era. And I feel that, like, going into a record store now, you got music from the 40s all the way to now. You know, when I was a kid, I only had it from the 40s or 50s to the 70s. Sure. So the longer music's around, and the new musicians or musicians like yourself, you have so much more to pull from. So why not? Why not?
Yeah. It's fun. It's kind of like you know, that's why we call our band Skillet. Like, you throw it in the skillet, you know, throw it in.
Is that
there.
what the name? Is that where it came from?
It actually came from when we first started. We were a side project of 3 bands, but they were very, very different. One was a funk band, and one was just a punk, Chili Peppers punk. So, you know, they're all kind of different. Yeah. And somebody said, it's like all this different stuff thrown into a skillet. And somebody said, you should call it Skillet. And I said, all right.
And stuck.
It won't last for 3 months, you know. Plus, it was the 90s. You know, 90s was like cool to have kind of a dumb name.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I think all bands kind of feel their name is kind of dumb. Like everybody I talked to, we had Brandon from Incubus. He's like, I hate our name. I don't like the 6 a.m. name. Motley Crue is a good name. Like Korn, I was always trying to figure out the Korn name.
I always say that. I would say Skillet's kind of dumb, but it's not any dumber than Korn.
Yeah. Or what about the Beatles? That was a bad one.
Yeah. It's
Kiss?
just that they're so iconic. You don't think, like, when I hear the word Korn, I think of the band, and it makes me like the whole package.
And I don't think of Korn on the cob.
Right. Yeah.
Right. It's like it's them. It's like Monkey and Jonathan. You know?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
I'm a
funny.
huge Korn fan.
Yeah.
We're going on tour with Korn this summer.
What a great band.
Oh my
and
gosh.
Great guys.
Some
of the best.
I don't know
some of
them
the
that
best
well.
human beings you'll ever
Really?
meet. Yeah.
I know Brian. I would say pretty well, and he's awesome.
Yeah.
Don't know the rest of the band yet. And
You're gonna
can't
love
wait
them.
to
They
meet
look
them.
menacing, but they're little cupcakes. They are, aren't they?
Cupcakes.
They are. I'll
They're
tell
little
them that.
menacing cupcake. Oh my gosh, we're in LA. You know what they should do? They should make cupcakes with Korn's face faces on them?
I'll send that down when you
LA
guys
likes
play.
those cupcakes.
I'll send those down.
do it.
I need a fieldy one.
Hey,
Yeah,
we're
there you
making
go.
money
Hey,
now,
it's me,
son.
Nikki Sixx, with your cupcakes. They're like, man, he really changed after Motley died.
You're talking about your childhood and kind of what it was like, coming up for you. But what was it like for you? What did it look like?
I've got some funny stories if you would like to know.
Well, of course.
And they're pertinent.
That's what we're here for.
All right, I was raised in Memphis, Tennessee,
Okay.
Bible Belt. Very religious, very strict religious. First time I heard music other than classical, my mom was a classical piano
Wow,
teacher.
how nice was that?
Yeah. So I grew up playing piano and stuff. But 5 years old, I heard "Beat It," Michael Jackson, and I came home singing it. And my mom gave me like holy hell beating, right, for singing the devil's music. So couldn't listen to anything with guitars. Drums were like the ultimate evil. Couldn't wear black and all that kind of stuff. So
By the way, he's wearing all black now.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting my way now. And there was this whole big thing that music was evil and drums were evil, and I just couldn't understand it. I didn't understand where they were coming from with it. And funny story, when I was about 16, my friend, we were in his car, and he had been listening to Shout at the Devil in his dad's car. Forgot to take the tape out.
Right.
And his dad was a preacher. And
Oh, man.
getting into the car with his dad later, his dad turns it on, this music, and he goes, "What is this?" And is this yours? And he says, "Yeah." And he comes in, "Shout at the devil." And his dad, the preacher, said, "Did he just say shout at the devil?" And his son said, "Yes." And he goes, "That sounds like a good thing to do, son."
Nice. That's what I was always trying to say to everybody. No one listened to me.
That's a wicked story, isn't it? Oh, I love it. Anyway.
I love that there's a preacher, and he's like,
Yeah.
shout at the devil.
Sounds like a good thing to do, son.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So that was my kind of growing up. I grew up playing classical piano, church music, and I played the trombone, which a lot of people don't know.
Do you really?
Yeah, I played all through college, scholarship for college and stuff. But
Is that a hard instrument?
trombone,
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's like the breathing thing.
the breathing thing, if you got that down, it's not bad. I mean, piano's pretty difficult.
Yeah.
And they always say if you can play piano, you can play
anything.
multiple instruments.
Yeah.
And I found that to be true, but I don't
Yeah.
know if, I got into rock though, 5th, 6th grade. I mean, in the 80s, you couldn't go anywhere without hearing metal, So it wasn't like, I'm off doing something. My parents, you go to the mall, you hear metal.
Mm-hmm.
You go to
And I miss
TCBY.
that. I miss that. Now it comes back as like those were the days or classic rock, but there's more to it than that.
Absolutely. It's
Some
what
of the
it is.
musicianship. So
Of course, absolutely. And my mom would always say, it's evil because you can't understand what they're saying. But my mom sang opera, so she would sit down at the piano and start singing opera in like different languages. So I'd be like, I can't understand what you're saying. And I never won the argument, But
When did it turn for your mom, for you? And she was okay with it?
It turn that much. I first heard of Christian rock music, and when I was about 6th grade, because I was complaining to my friend that I couldn't listen to One by Metallica. This song, I was like, he had the first time I heard Double Kick. It was the whole thing. He said, "Well, there's Christian rock music," and I took it home, and my mom gave me my second holy hell beat down because it was even worse. Because it was like wolves in sheep's clothing, They were acting like they were angels, but they were really demons, which I thought sounded cool. Anyway, but I kind of convinced my parents to let me listen to a few Christian rock albums, but they never were really all that excited about it. My mom passed away when I was 14, and
so she didn't get to hear where you took it.
Absolutely
She would have
not.
been proud.
I think she would be, eventually.
Yeah.
But there was definitely, after my mom died, there was a lot of, when I wanted to start my band and stuff, there was like, your mom would be disappointed in you. She was on her deathbed praying for you, saying that rock was going to ruin your life and you can't do this. And it came to a place where I had to kind of make my own decisions and be who I wanted to be. And that's good because it's kind of made me who I am.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm always open with people. They say, "Oh, what does metal have to do with Jesus, all this Jesus Christian?" And I'm never embarrassed about it because I am who I am, and it's about the music for me. It's not about all the other stuff. It's about the music. It's like Jack Black said, it's about the music.
Yeah. So when you're writing a lyric, like what is there a I'm trying to think of a way to say, like when I'm writing a lyric, I'll say, this is about, right? It's about, and it has to be something that resonates with me.
Yeah.
You know, as the lyricist, I don't really tell stories, make-believe stories. That's not something I really do.
I see what you're saying.
So something that resonates with me that I might have had some experience or curiosity about, and then I go for it. When you're writing a lyric, are you confined within like some of what you feel comfortable with, or can you go outside of the box?
Got it.
I guess I mean like in the religious sense, right?
I see what you're saying. Yeah. I mean, I always, one of the things I think you're saying is like the authenticity. I like to write who I am, and I don't want to be a fake in any sort of way. That's worse than making the money, but you faked it to do it. Not interested. It's about the music and the authenticity. So that, yes. I write my songs, I think, in sometimes non-specific ways. I like the idea that a song could be about my wife or God or a friend or what have you. I like that people can take it in different ways because it's kind of what's beautiful about poetry to me.
Sure.
And so I wouldn't sing something that I wasn't comfortable with in terms of, I don't know, racism or something. I'm just throwing that out there. Not many people would be, but that's a good example. But I like the idea that it's not just religious people listening and relating and saying, yes, I feel that way too.
And I never feel that when I listen to you guys. I'm listening to a band that I like. I like the subject matter, but I don't feel like I'm listening to necessarily a Christian album.
Yeah.
You guys are really good
I
at it.
agree with that. Yeah.
You know, it's like I write a lot of songs about recovery because it's like the idea that you can come from, losing everything to regaining your life back. But I don't think people are like, oh, he's preaching about not drinking or something.
That's the thing.
But it's like,
did you write Rest in Pieces?
Oh, yeah.
Saliva?
Yeah, with James Michael.
You wrote that?
Yeah.
I love that song.
You did?
Boom, I just dropped some knowledge on Jen
yeah.
over
Did
here.
you really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's a great
awesome
song.
That's an amazing song.
Yeah.
Saliva was the first rock band that ever took us on tour. People would take us on tours, and Josie was like, "Oh, the hell with that, man! I'm taking you out." And he took us out on tour, and awesome people. Yeah. And he told me that you guys had written that, and I love the song. But that's a song to me that's perfect. That I don't know if it's about recovery or if it's about love or whatever, but it feels like it matters.
Yeah.
That's how I experience it anyway.
Who are you?
Who are I? Who am I? I mean,
oh my God.
I was like, who are you? Wait, who am I?
I'll tell you, Nikki freaking Sixx.
I used to have my kids in the car. I'd pick them up from school, and some band would come on the radio. It'd be like Led Zeppelin, and I'd turn it up. I go, I wrote this, right? And my little daughter would go, oh, you did, Dad? I like that song, Whole Lot of Love. And then like Michael Jackson. So they would go back to school and they say, yeah, my dad's a songwriter. He writes for Michael Jackson. He writes for Led Zeppelin.
That's good.
And then when
That's good. That's real good.
Closer to 14, she was like, you didn't write the Michael Jackson music. I go, what are you talking about? Of course I didn't. You told us that you did. I was like, I'm a lying parent.
You're a fibber. You're just a bad parent. Santa Claus isn't real either.
You have kids, right?
Yeah, they're here.
They are?
Yeah, they're 14 and 11.
Are they
now.
in the building?
No, I'm sorry. I meant they're in L.A. No, they're not in the building, no.
We'll put them on
at the
air.
venue. What's that?
We'll put them on there.
Yeah.
Yeah. My
So
kids
what's
will come
Dad
in.
really like?
Yeah. My dad said that he wrote Kickstart My Heart.
Yeah. Amazing.
Oh, my gosh.
So do you guys have to take them on the road? You homeschool the kids? How do you do it?
They were also with us in Germany.
Really?
When we played with
what a great thing
Sam.
for them to see the world, too.
It's incredible.
Do they love it?
They do. They've been on tour with us. Some people listening might not know my wife is in the band, and it was either not go on the road or one of us not go on the road or bring the kids, and we decided to do the
sounds like a dream
the
to me.
Osbournes thing. Yeah, it's awesome. My kids have been to Europe 6 times, and they've played with Rob Zombie and Alice Cooper and Iron Maiden and 6 a.m. It's I don't think they know how awesome I am yet. But one of these days,
the 14-year-old doesn't know.
No, I'm joking. I mean,
boys or girls?
One of each. My oldest is a girl.
Okay.
She would be happier if I was touring with
5 Seconds of Summer.
Or no, even poppier than that.
One Direction.
I want Miley Cyrus kind of music.
Okay.
Not
Yeah.
that they like her.
Yeah.
I don't even know whether they like that kind of
My
music.
kids told me one day, I don't really listen to your kind of music, Dad. No offense.
No offense.
I'm like,
Yeah.
No offense.
You're like, I'm not offended, but your friend's better. You know what I'm saying? Daddy's got to eat up in here. I tell you. My son likes the metal though. He's into the hard stuff.
Does he play?
Doesn't play, but he likes it.
Do you want to?
I don't know if he wants to or not. He's very creative in like writing and things like that.
Right.
Yeah, he's got a weird little science brain. But when he hears like music that he'll get, we were touring on with Godsmack a few years ago, and Seven Dust was playing it. First show of the tour, and catering was like one of those outdoor catering when it's like right next to the speakers. And I was thinking, I can't even eat. This music is so loud right now. Because Seven Dust is awesome, and they're just slamming. First song ends, and my son, puts his chicken down. He looks up and he goes, "That was the awesomest thing I've ever heard." And that was one of my proudest moments. Good, son. Good.
That's awesome.
What's it? I'm just gonna be blunt with it. What's it like to fight with your wife on the road? Because I know you don't get along all the time.
Before you go on stage.
Before you go on stage is the best.
Yeah.
Because I hate fighting with a band member, but like I don't have to go like in
On
the bunk
stage
with
with
them or anything.
You got to go clock in. You got to have a good show.
Yeah.
It's hard. Being married's hard work, and we just celebrated our 20th last week in a romantic town of Billings, Montana.
Oh yes, they have an Olive Garden. Yeah.
They I don't know if they do. But
No, they
might.
do. I had my birthday there
you're
once.
telling me they do.
Yes.
You had a birthday there. I love it. It is hard. Being married's hard work. We get along really well.
I mean, you guys are together all the time.
We are 24/7.
How do you do that?
It's crazy. I think we've had to kind of just be. You know what you have to do? You have to learn how to go, all right, I'm talking to you as a business partner, not my wife, and not as, like I need to be as blunt as I'd be with one of my guy friends.
Yeah.
And if I can kind of come to terms with this is how we're speaking now, then it's fine, and then we have good business talks. And then we have other times when
you guys still snuggle?
She doesn't love that. Oh yeah, we've got a great relationship, really. We do really well together. People that are with us usually say, "I can't believe this works this well."
Because I love being with my wife all the time. She's my best friend, but I don't have to take her on stage with me, or vice versa. So that's like a whole other level of communication.
It is.
Which I think is really cool.
I'm kind of surprised it works so well, but we both have a real passion for the music and for the fans. It's all about that. And
what a great
it's
thing
cool because you
for
share
your
it together.
kids. I gotta say, like what a great story to be like. I got a good education. Homeschooled.
Yep.
I got to travel the world. My mom and dad are like stable.
Right.
Got like a good foundation. I grew up in the music industry. It got me to do all this other stuff, see all this other stuff. I think it's super cool.
You know what? A lot of people don't know because they haven't had the opportunity to be on the road. But there's a lot of camaraderie between bands when you're on tours. You're going to be together for 6 weeks. Everybody kind of, I don't want to say it feels like family, but that's kind of a little bit what it's like. And so it's always fun. One of the funniest pictures in my mind is my, at the time, would have been 10-year-old daughter showing her Barbies to Maria, from In This Moment, and things like that you don't pair together,
Right.
and the backstage thing is its own thing, and the stage thing is its own. It's just
well, people
it's
forget, or we're just people.
right.
Like, you're on stage and you're doing videos and they're listening to the music, but you go backstage, it's like going home, and like when I have my kids backstage, it's like we're a family, and everybody's kind. Backstage, everyone's just, getting through it, and everyone's like experiencing not having a lot of sleep, maybe not having the best food. Everyone's just supportive of each other, and I think it's
that way.
It's a good thing for the kids too to see that.
I think so too.
Yeah,
it's kind of made them incredibly mature.
Sure.
Because they talk to adults all the time and they're used to seeing weird looking people and, and from all kinds of different, walks of life, coming from all countries and different kinds of governments. And it's really cool. So people are usually wild when they talk to my kids, because they'll talk to the scariest, weirdest looking person in the room like their friends, you know, and I love that. It's really cool, man.
Yeah.
Have you thought about writing a book?
Yeah, I have. I don't know if anybody. I always tell people Skillet's the biggest selling band you've never heard of. So I don't know if anybody buy it. Nobody knows who we are.
I think they would, but not only because
Except
of
for you, then.
right, and Nikki.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would say it would just be because of the music, but if you throw in that relationship aspect, and how to make it through something like that, that's fascinating.
I think books aren't just about you; it's about the overall story.
Right.
So,
and you have a
that's a love story. It's a passion story. It's a family story. It's about music. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Why don't you you want to?
I'm going to write the foreword.
Broker that for him?
Yeah. No, I'm
You
going
write
to.
the foreword?
Dedicated to Jen.
Oh, dedicated to Jen.
And then I'll do
Ask your wife if that's
forward.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
to my friend.
To my friend, in all capitals, my friend. So you got a new single out, Back from the Dead. I wanted to ask you, A, what that's about. It's already top 15, and you guys are going to be shooting a video for it coming up?
All right, a couple things. Are you going to ask me on Back from the Dead how I stole the drum beat from Kickstart My Heart?
I kind of heard that.
It's got the
But
drum
that's
beat.
okay. We stole it from Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's okay.
Good. I was like, guys, this is my Kickstart the Heart song. This is that song for us. And
Oh, that's a great song.
which one?
Back from the Dead.
Oh, thank
Yeah.
you. I assumed you meant Kickstart My Heart, and then I thought, is he being cheeky? I can't tell.
No, I'm not being cheeky.
He's a cheeky
That's a good
fellow.
song, too.
He's a cheeky fellow.
Cheeky.
Oh my gosh, it is a good song. But thank you about Back from the Dead.
Yours or mine? Which song's
Yours.
good? Yours
but
is good too.
If I was being, thank you.
All right, guys. Seriously.
Who's on first base or whatever? Anyway, we shot a video already.
Oh, you did?
And it's done, and I love it. It's so really fun and cool. You know, we don't get to do what I would consider a lot of like tongue-in-cheek things. You know, Skillet. I don't really know why our videos, our releases tend to be, I don't know, cerebral or this or that or the other. Back from the Dead was a cheeky song to start with, and I wrote it because when our last record came out, it was on the shift was happening in music, which was true. Rock wasn't doing what it did.
Right.
But there was all this overboard talk about rock being dead. It's gone. It's never coming back. Guitar sales are down. Everybody's freaking out. And we were on tour, and this promoter, of course, I've been living with this for months, and this promoter of the show just kept on and on chatting about some new alternative band. This is where it's all at. You got to hear it. It's changing music. Ugh.
And you guys should sound like this.
Yeah, that's what he was
hate
doing.
that.
On and on.
I want to smack those people.
And I'd never heard of the band. So I'm thinking, how could I not have heard of this band changing the world? So I said to him, how many tickets did you sell? And he said, well, we sold out. And I said, well, how many? And he said, well, it was only 400 capacity. And I said, well, we sold 2,000 tickets tonight. You know, what are you on about?
Yeah.
And it really just kind of ticked me off. So I wrote Back from the Dead as for this guy.
Yeah.
So that's what the song was about. You know, it's about these people that just want to kick you when you're down, you know, and move on to the next thing. And
I don't know why people were running with that Rock is Dead. I was like, these arenas are selling out. All these festivals are selling out. What was happening is album sales were down, but not just for rock. It's like downloads were down, like I think like 30%.
Right.
You know, everything is down. There was an economic swing. We were in this presidential campaign, and things were converting over to streaming, and there was a lag time. And I was like, this is a great time. This is a really great time. I didn't see it as a bad time.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's the thing. I mean, the record we just released when the record came out, not the current, the last one, and it's almost 700,000 units. It's a big selling record.
That's a lot of records right now.
All of the PR around it was like, it's dead, it's not good, whatever. And I was thinking, I don't think it's going that poorly. People are coming to the shows. So so I wrote this song Back from the Dead. And so the video, all this to say, video comes out next week. And it's really fun, and it was just.
Does it tell the story of the guy?
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
I wish it did, but it's kind of comic bookish. It's got some zombies in it, and it's one of our like just have a bunch of fun kind of video.
Those are fun videos.
Do you
to
feel
do.
like you were saying, you know, in the past you had to do these certain types of videos? Do you almost feel like you had to prove yourself to get to this cheeky video situation?
Absolutely. I feel like every time I do a record, I have to fight and claw my way to even get allowed to record a record.
Do you feel like right now at this point that you're where you want to be at this moment?
I mean, I feel like I am, but whenever it's time to do the next record, it'll all start
right.
over. Wrote 72 songs for the last record.
That's not enough. You should really push yourself.
It sucks.
That's so. I remember I did
absurd.
24,
And
I did 28 songs for a double album. So but I don't 72 songs.
It's unbelievable. But
finished.
No, I usually don't finish the bridge. I'm not going to write bridges for 70 songs, because,
So you have some extra songs to throw my way.
And demoed.
my way.
Probably not any good, but yeah.
I have 100,000 songs on my phone that are just like, and I go, yeah, okay, good song title. And I give it a good title. Never see the...
That's hilarious. I love it.
See a record, but yeah, I mean, to actually write lyrics, melodies, demo them up.
It's an incredible amount of work.
How do you demo? Do you do it at home?
I do it on the road. I demo even now. I start writing as soon as the record comes out. I start writing the next one because one of the things going on. I'm not trying to beat up on my label I'm just saying in general. It's just getting like this. Part of what's going on is that all these labels are wanting rock bands to write songs like pop artists.
Yeah.
So they want the songs to sound like pop songs, but real heavy.
Well, you know why. Right. It's very simple. It's called quarterly billing.
Right. Yeah.
Right? You got quarterly billing. These executives are getting paid like they used to get paid. So their salaries are really big, right? So they're looking at rock music or any music that doesn't sell what it used to sell, and they're going, I need something to sell because I get my bonus at the end of the year, right? I get my quarterly billing and my bonus. So they're going, I'll just sign anything that'll sell. And they're not looking at the quality.
Right.
They're not looking at the heart and the passion, and that's the problem we have.
Interesting.
Like, stop it. Like, take a pay cut, dude. Where's the camera?
Right.
Wherever you are, take a pay cut and like throw your heart into the music, because it's rock music. Look at 750,000 records. Bands would cut their nuts off for that, man. That's amazing. You have a label that just doesn't understand that. It's crazy.
I mean,
not just your label, every label.
Yeah, that's
labels
right.
I work with all the time. I just hate it because there used to be these guys that would go out and they'd find a band and they would like curate them. They would work with them. It would take 3 albums. They would build it up. There's a lot of times now where if a band doesn't pop on their first single, they flush it, man.
Done. Yeah.
And like it's maybe the 3rd single on the 3rd record was the breaker.
Right.
It was the one.
Well, sometimes, especially if you've done something that's not, maybe that's just a little different.
Yeah.
It takes people a little while to get used to.
Yeah.
And I think that is, I don't think Skillet has in any way reinvented the wheel. It just might be a little different. And
that's what you're supposed to do, is be a little bit different.
It's what you're supposed to do, but I think sometimes, for instance, Awaken Alive was a big song for us at radio a few hours. That's a song that they didn't even want to record. We weren't going to record it for the album. And I pushed it, we recorded it, and they didn't want it on the album. And I pushed to put it on the record, and then it became one of our big ones.
Yeah.
So I just think it might be a little different, and
it's
so
the
to answer
money.
Your question,
people
Jen,
are scared that the money is is the thing that's polluting all this.
Yeah, of course.
And I understand it's a business. We got car payments, and we got to take care of our kids, and
right.
I get it. But when you talk about money before you talk about music, then you have a problem, and that's where this whole thing feels like a downward spiral, and we're moving over to streaming, and they're trying to figure out the payment plan on that and how that works. And then artists start to get scared, and artists start to go, well, I'll just write something that fits like everybody else, because then my label's happy and my agent's happy. And then it's like people go, man, you guys kind of suck now. It's like, well, I was trying not to suck. I was trying to fit in. And then it was like, see, your album sucks because like you're not being original anymore. You're like, you told me not to be original, motherfucker.
I'm going to name my next album "Try Not to Suck."
Try not to suck.
Try not to suck.
There you go. I'll write the song with you.
Yeah. Well, I think you've already got it on your phone. Apparently, it sounds
Yeah,
like,
it's
it
on
sounds
here.
like
It's only one bar.
He'll do the bridge.
To quote you, I'm not stealing your song, but I think that's what you're saying.
I don't remember what key it's in, so it don't matter.
Drop something.
You know those riffs like you write early in the morning? You just pick up the guitar and you're like, that is so rad. And then like a couple days later you listen to it and you go, that is so bad.
Yeah. I've got a bunch of those.
Yeah, for sure. This has been fantastic having you on. Good luck on the tour.
Yeah, thank you. Great to chat, y'all.
Push this record.
Y'all?
Push this record up to 1 million.
Okay.
Platinum. Come on.
Nikki said to. It's
Yeah,
going.
I need something to hang in my bathroom. So if we could get this going.
You can't go home until it's platinum.
Yeah, I hear you. I love it. Oh, that'd be good. I'll be thrilled. The last one, Rise, is the one that I was saying was 700. But this one, if we get a gold record out of this,
Yeah.
man.
Awesome. Thanks. Best of luck, dude.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Nikki Sixx and Jen on the Sixx Sense.